So this problem just says find the radius of convergence. So essentially, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to do the ratio test. So I have my rho equaling my limit as n goes to infinity of a sub n plus 1 over a sub n. And that equals the limit as n goes to infinity of a to the n plus 1, 2 to the n plus 1, x to the n plus 1, all over a to the n, 2 to the n, x to the n. And now again, we're just going to simplify this. So I'm just going to rewrite this, and I rewrite it for your sake. So no big deal. This is really 2 to the n times 2, and this is really x to the n times x. And that's all over a to the n, 2 to the n, x to the n. And I just want you to see how all of this cancels so nicely here. So now this is what we end up with. So then that's going to result in the limit as n goes to infinity of an plus 1, and it looks like we have a 2x on top. And then on the bottom, we're going to have an an on the bottom. Now in the book, this one was number 7, and I just wanted to give you this other piece of information that they actually gave us. They told us that the limit as n goes to infinity of a to the n plus 1 over a to the n, they said it equals 1. Now the reason why they're telling us that is because this could be any number we want, and that could change things a little bit. But anyways, nonetheless, they're saying this is what it is, just so you know. And this was just given. I'm just going to write on this, given. It's not something that is some rule or anything. They just told us this is what it is for their problem. So anyways, so now notice I have no n's left other than this limit here being 1. So then I would say that this is just 1 times 2x, which is just 2x. Now remember, do you guys remember the ratio test? So there it is. Okay, so that tells us that rho has to be less than 1. Okay, actually between 0 and 1. So that means this would tell us then that this absolute value has to be, well, not the absolute value. No, it is the absolute value. It has to be less than 1. So this tells me here that really what I'm looking at here is that 2x has to be between -1 and 1. That's really what this is saying. Just so you know. Yes, it has to be between -1 and 1. And it is the absolute value of that. So then what this means is if I divide both sides, actually not both sides, all sides by 2, I'm going to get -1/2 x here, and then 1/2. So notice this. This is from -1/2 to 1/2. So this implies that my radius of convergence, my r, is equal to 1/2. So there's my answer, and that's all I was really supposed to find here. But remember, all of the information we put in there is necessary in order to get these answers. Don't just have the answer down and think that's okay. We have to have all of this information here to show that. Now, we might also want to say that my r is 1/2, but even before we say that, we might want to say converges, maybe, by the ratio test. and then say my R equals 1/2. Okay, there we go.